the ever-hated Steve Fezzik joins us. No, we were at a nice conference with Steve last week, too. It was fantastic. His what would that be called? That we had a gaming conference? Boot camp. Yeah, I lost 8 pounds, by the way. I didn't even tell you, but in the boot camp. No, but it was a fun time. A couple of the guys are here from the boot camp. We appreciate it. Appreciate all you guys coming in, and we have a couple good guests that we're also going to have on today. We're trying to get this all in less than an hour, and we should though. It's no problem. Randy McKay, professional bettor. Myself, professional bettor, podcaster. John, big podcaster. Jon is Jon Orlando. His dad is Tony Orlando. There's probably no one old enough in the room to know what Tony is. Yeah, Spooky knows. Sorry.
I thought
it is what it is. I know you would know, but there's a lot of younger people.
Crack. I thought for sure when you said Randy, professional gambler, you're professional. I thought you were going to say professional degenerate. I thought for sure that's where you were headed.
I'll tell you why the show works so well. And I think why we get so many views and comments and people. John, you're a rarity in the business. Now listen, I host a nationwide Fox show on 512 networks. I have a co-host and I have another co-host. One played in the NFL. I was planning for him to be that setup guy. And Fox told me, yeah, Crack, pick on him. He's a gambler. The first week, he was like, you can't say this stuff to me. So, I mean, I love doing the show. It's a nationwide show. I'm totally blessed, that someone will come to...
The one that I'm not on. It's great.
You would be great on it with me. And only because John admits, I'm not... I don't want to embarrass you in front of anyone.
It's okay.
Don't touch me. No, but John admits to being... he likes to gamble. He likes
parlays are the way to go, right? That's correct.
Yeah, the parlays.
100%.
And he's very honest though, and he's not fooling around.
Once.
No, he's not fooling around. He loves to gamble, and gambling loves him. And and he admits it, and it works well together. You know, Randy comes on football season, gives out his, let's face it, we've made a lot of money in our career gambling, besides what the dark Twitter trolls say. But we've made a lot of money gambling, Randy, you and I. Even over the years together with different things. And, I never ever talked about this. And how can I hit you with this cold without asking you ahead of time? So we won $490,000 together at the M contest. That really set our contest streak going.
That was the last 100,000 buy-in. This will be the newest 100,000 buy-in, the Grandissimo.
Yeah, which I didn't tell anyone that we were getting in. I didn't tell anyone yet. I just, because it's not me to say, oh yeah, I'm coming in with a partnership. I'm not spending $100,000.
Me as well.
Yeah. Also, you told me not to say something back then. Can we talk about DraftKings now?
Yeah, sure can.
Okay. Back then you were like, no, don't tell no one we won that. So we won a lot of money in the DraftKings contest because of the overlay situation they had. I've never told anyone publicly. Go ahead.
Yeah, so you're talking about the weekend one or the 50,000 buy-in?
The 50,000 buy-in, which there was going to be. What was the guarantee?
So the guarantee on that one, I believe. Trying to remember now.
Whatever it was, there was an overlay.
Yeah, there were two people short of the overlay, so like $100,000 added.
But it was 6 the day of the. We weren't going to enter. It was 6 with an hour to go. 4 people entered.
And it was kind of inconvenient because you had to be in a DraftKings state, couldn't use a proxy. They had a lot of rules on that. In fact, one of my friends, he got not in that contest, but another one, he got disqualified because they tracked his location and disqualified him. But
that's why. That's why you didn't want it, because I was like, DraftKings is really strict on, and same thing with FanDuel. They're pretty strict on location and making sure where you're betting from, and if you're betting from the same house. I talked about on VSiN a couple weeks ago. There's a group that reached out to me that's owed hundreds of thousands of dollars, and the one guy is down like $200,000 in his account. And he won back 120, still down 80,000 overall, and they're not paying him the 120,000. That's just so dirty. They're saying, no, well, you won the money with these other guys, and like I said, his account was 200,000 down. I have no stake in the game, so people were coming at me. But what's amazing? Out of the 100 and some comments on Twitter, about 20 of them stuck up for the Sportsbook. They said, crazy. Well, of course you're not allowed to bet the same game together on a Telegram chat. Well. What if I give out a game, Steve gives out a game? What if you give out a game and everyone bets it together in unison. $100, $200, $500. Yes, in the terms and conditions, these big sports books do not have to pay you if they don't want to. But the bane of my existence will be to go after them. And I don't care if they sponsor my show or I'm still going after them, throwing me off air. I'm sticking up for helping the public get their money.
And that's another instance where they're trying to reinvent the wheel when the wheel's already made there. So I disagree with it as well.
So I have a breaking thing that I'm not going to mention the name again, but you probably know. So I have a lot of family in the Bronx, and they go to Yonkers, which I've only been there once. Well, it's funny. I lived 13 minutes from the place. I went one time when I was a kid. My parents didn't want me around gambling. Sorry, Mom and Dad. Yeah, I had an old-fashioned Hungarian Jewish father, Italian mother. They did not want me. Please don't. And of course, my mother's family corrupted everyone. My father, everybody.
Was that during Son of Sam?
I remember that though, because I was about 8 years old, and we weren't even allowed to go out when David Berkowitz was doing that. We weren't even allowed to go out like outside on nighttime. We were boys. Imagine a girl. It was a bad time. But anyway, there's the Yonkers Casino. Anyone been there? I haven't been there. Anyone been? There's a Yonkers Casino now in Yonkers at that dump of a racetrack. They're taking $25,000 a hand virtually because there's no dealers. And one of the biggest NBA players was next to my cousins, and he's taking the video and showing me the video. I said, you can't do that. I'm not going to show that nowhere. One of the biggest NBA players in the world. You all know him. He's
killing me right now.
He's worth over $100 million. And
what does his last name rhyme with?
He lost $1 million last week. My cousin Chris, he works in the Bronx Zoo, 33 years, good kid. He's taking the video and he's saying, cousin Billy, do you believe this? He's betting 25, and he's showing me the thing, and I'm like, I can never rat the guy out, but he lost $1 million. Yeah, he was up 200,000, lost $1 million that night. I didn't know you can lose $1 million on a video blackjack game, but that's unbelievable, isn't it? I mean, listen, I love Barkley, but I mean,
is it really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
By the way, on a serious note, though, I love Charles Barkley. I think Charles Barkley, I was with him one day. He said, how many guys you got to valet? And they said 13, took out 1,300 and gave them $100 each. Like, why do I have to rate people by what they spend?
Tipping is the fastest way to your heart. I love people. You
throw the money around a little bit. I mean, just be nice. If you make a lot of money, you should share it with people. Yeah. That's the way I feel.
Yeah.
Kind of the opposite of Scottie Pippen.
Yeah.
Scotty, no tipping Pippen.
Well, speaking of which, though, there are some of those NBA players that don't tip, but he is one of them that tips really well. I've been around a couple guys that really tip really well, famous people, and the opposite is for like my buddy had a big golf event and charity event put together, and like Tiger Woods, like, how can you not take care of people? And you know who he had a restaurant in L.A. Comped the meal. He said, Tiger meal's comp, don't worry about it. The bill was $1,300. Doesn't tip the waiters.
Nothing.
God,
it's crazy.
I just don't get it. Like he was planning he comes to his restaurant. It's Mastro's, Beverly Hills. You know who it is.
Yep.
Like you get a free comp meal at Mastro's, Tiger. You can't pay the tip. Anyway, I usually don't name names. Sorry, I just named a couple names. It just happens. But listen. John has been giving out a couple. If you guys watch our podcast, we're on YouTube every week. John has been giving out a couple UFC guys. Anyone else you want to bury anyone with? Last week you killed
For the
people.
record, wait, I
Homeless
gave you
shelters
Ode
filled up.
Osborne on 7 days' notice. He was plus 420 or something.
He was 420.
He did lose, but it went the distance, and he almost knocked the guy out round one. It was a
I didn't watch
absolute
any of it.
live dog.
Really?
Yes.
That means a lot.
Gave out an underdog.
Yeah. No. John gives out underdogs. John gives out underdogs.
Dodgers
for sure.
minus 1.5. Best bet of the season.
That was the beginning of the season, and you were over 104.5 wins. I got to be honest, Steve. Didn't you at one time? But then you said, no, wait a minute, we're off this.
I got over 103.5 and under 100. How sharp am I?
Wow.
I remember Steve text me, and I didn't mean to put you on a spot there. I remember you text me. You said, "Get off this." I wasn't on it. I wasn't. To be honest, I wasn't even on it. But and on a serious note, though, people come after you all the time too. A little bit is your Twitter persona. I mean, you do it to yourself. But however, though, in person, they don't know how good this guy is. And talk about tip. I'm a tip guy. he a couple weeks, about a month ago, you were at the cage with me at the Circa cashier, and we went to go get money out of my account, and I had to get something like 10 dimes for you. And I said, just give it to him. He pushed the button and transferred it. Steve's taking out $20 for the guy. I said, what's that for? He goes, you got to take care of him. We had no cash transaction. You pushed the button. But yeah, he's a very good guy helping people, and we've made a lot of money together. I don't think you've ever paid me, to be honest with you. No, that means it came out wrong. We have a settle figure. We have a settle figure every time, and I don't think you've ever paid me $1. And every time I've paid you a 5-figure settlement every time. So it's
You're so good at this.
they have a lot of outs, a lot of connections, a lot of good relations. But anyway, neither one of us win according to some of the people outside that door. I was realizing my cousin was here, and this is not my cousin from the Bronx, but I have a cousin that was here. And he doesn't listen to anything I say. He's like, I'm not listening to anything. He said, listen, he calls me cuz too. He goes, cuz. I've been losing my whole life. I'm not listening to anything you say. I'm betting my own stuff. Anyone that listens to anyone else. But I'm like, he has no money. I swear, he makes like 150, maybe a little bit more, 180,000 a year. He has no money. It all goes to the. I told him I was going to use this story, and he made a comment to me. He said, I try to make a score with every penny I have. Now, I've made he said, I've made $100,000 a couple times, but he has nothing. And I just thought about that. And John, what's it like to do that? No.
I was wondering where you were going.
No, I mean, it's amazing though. Joe Public, on a serious note, I don't think like that, but let me tell you something. Bill Krackomberger was a big loser way before I was a winner. I was a little degen. I'm growing up in Monmouth County, New Jersey. I used to come down before I lived in Monmouth County, about 45 minutes out of Manhattan. I used to come down every weekend to work at my aunt and uncle's pizza stand. I was a little degenerate with my buddies. 12, 13, 14, 15. My parents didn't even know. I was a little degen. We played even though my cousin was teaching card counting and he was teaching you how to, just keep track of two things, aces and fives. It's one deck, Bill, 4 aces, 4 fives, and they dealt to the bottom. So you can picture on the boardwalk when the business closed, all the games of chance, the wheels, they used to be called Skillo, and the different games of chance, they all came to the pizza stand and gambled. And they would deal head-to-head blackjack down to the bottom. So he taught me a lot of things. But yet I would blow the money at Monmouth Racetrack. I would take a bus from my little town in Kingsburg, take a bus to Long Branch, from Long Branch to Eatontown, and I blow all the money. I was a total sucker until one day I got a call from somebody in jail from Scranton, Pennsylvania, and he called me up and said, hey, he was just in jail for a stupid little thing, but he found out something in Atlantic City about a blackjack machine. He didn't know much, but he said, there's a blackjack machine in Atlantic City at the Golden Nugget. This is not the Golden Nugget that's there now. This is the old Golden Nugget, which then became Bally's Grand, the Hilton, and the Atlantic. I think it closed as the Atlantic. And I go in there at 2 in the morning. I'm working 2 jobs, by the way, at the time. I think I was selling cemetery plots at the time. Imagine mausoleums and cemetery plots and doing radio sales in the daytime. I'm like 22, 23 years old. And I go down there and the guy next to me, there just happens that there's 12 machines. They're all full. And just an old man got up. God let the old man get up. That's all I can tell you. Sitting in that seat, the guy next to me changed my life. I would never be here today if it wasn't for that guy. And he was the head of the card count team at resorts in Atlantic City. But by night, he was counting cards, looking for edges, doing things around 1993. And he actually said to me, there wasn't tickets in and out at the time. The Tito's were not there. You had to go, you put a $100 bill in and you get these dollar coins. They're about this big. They used to sell them in a roll of 20 or 40. Fat, you're old enough for this, right? The rolls of coins. Oh, by the way, what a video last night I seen of you. I'll talk about that later. I had no idea this stuff happened. That's why, I mean, I can't believe you got in here with a gun. Okay, so anyway, so these rolls of coins, he says to me, he goes, hey, he's 6'6". Hey, sir, can you buy, do you know Tall Frank?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I remember.
He says,
my,
can you
days in Atlantic
buy a
City."
roll of tokens from me? And I'm looking up at Lurch. I mean, he's sick, he's so big. And I'm like, sure. And I still don't know why. And I get the coins and I'm putting them in, but I'm watching to see what he's doing. And I realized this, you could put the $1 in, $1, and there was a surrender button that gave you back the $1. So if you didn't like your hand, start over. So if the dealer has a 10 up, you should surrender even with 18. 18's a losing hand long term. So you would get your dollar back, and I'm doing it with him, and he's like, oh, we want to fill the hopper. We don't want the slot attendants coming over with bags of coins. They'll know we're doing something. I don't even know what we're doing, but he's that super smart. He's not really street smart. I love Frank, but he's not like, he's talking to me like I know what he's talking about. And if anyone knows what surrender is, you get 50% of your bet back. This machine gave you the whole dollar back. It may not sound like a lot, but here I am, 22 years old. I got maybe $2-3 grand in the bank. I came down there with $500, and I made $6,000 that night. Wow. And I never looked back. Quit the jobs. Frank and I became partners in sports the next 10 years. And it's amazing you know Frank. I thought maybe you knew him, but
I've seen him at Sultan's Palace at the Taj.
The double jokers?
Yeah,
the double joker machines.
That was my first $5 Royal.
Frank changed my life.
Back when Trump owned the Taj Mahal.
So I didn't have much money. And he's saying, do you bet with bookmakers in New York? Because I have bookmakers in Philadelphia and South Jersey. I was like, yeah. He goes, well, we can get some nice middles and scalps. I didn't even really know what middles and scalps were. Sure. So,
Crack, how long was that machine like that?
2 days, 18 hours. Yeah, matter of fact, we built up all the comps. The next day, they took all the comps back. I remember I called I wasn't married at the time. I was dating my wife. And I said, listen, I'm calling out of work. I got something going on. I can't talk to you. I'll see you when you home. And I remember, though, Frank and I go on partners, though, after that. And the reason why we went partners, he was working 50 hours a week at Resorts International. I think Resorts is still a casino in Atlantic City. He was working there. And when he was working there, he's like, we can do some stuff in sports together. And you can use my $250,000 I have for sports. I used his bankroll to build up my bankroll. How lucky is that? How lucky is a guy you met because of a guy got up from a machine, sat down there, and I was able to learn advantage sports bettings. I went on to write for a site called the RX.com, which was called The Prescription. And the owner of the site gave me a bunch of money to write articles for him. By the way, I barely graduated high school. I have no journalist degree. It's just all street smarts, common sense. It's just all things that I've done on my playbook here. So, yeah, by the way, I see Richie Wilk in the back here. You work for the casino. Don't be repeating none of this stuff to Stevens. Yeah, because I'm looking to rip your eyes out too over the whole casino. But anyway, Frank's changed my life. Bonuses back then were the big thing. Randy, were you involved in the 90s or no?
Late 90s.
Late 90s.
That's when I started 97.
You would send money from the sports books. You could press a button and literally do a transfer to the sports book, from one sports book to the other, transfer over $10,000, they give you a $2,000 bonus. Or better yet, they would give you 100% bonus if you rolled it over 7 times. There was some sick ones. Spiro, he's going to be in the, he's not here, right? I hope not. But Spiro is going to be in the Hall of Fame on Friday night. Spiro had the best bonus ever. He had a $10,000 bonus. Send him $10,000, and the book was called Bet Jamaica. He bought a book called Bet Jamaica off of these guys in Curacao, I believe. No, actually, I think they were the one guy, Marty, was in Curacao, I believe. So, but yeah, they have a $10,000 bonus. Just send over 10 to Bet Jamaica. I swear, I don't know how I did this. I pressed the button. I sent it from this. They were in the same office. Because he owned the Greek.com, Bet Jamaica, same office, took 10 out of my Bet Greek account, put it into Bet Jamaica, I had 20,000. They doubled the bonus right in the same building. The bonuses were the biggest thing back then.
Yeah, Mansion had a free bet. You lose 1,000, they give you back 1,000 on the Steelers, that first opening game back in the day. I did one with BetMaker. I don't know if not book.
BetMaker was in Curacao. They were in Curacao.
And you could do 5 signups with them and get up to $5,000. All the other people had to do was put like 2,000 signups. So that was another good one as well.
Yeah, you just mentioned Mansion. Here's a perfect example about sportsbook. Mansion were rich. They were pretty rich guys from New York. So Mansion opens up, and they decide to take the NBA totals. Frank taught me this. I didn't. Frank taught me this. He's like, Bill, what they're doing is very wrong. This is like the year 2000. The total on the game's 200. Well, it's 50 each quarter. That's what they said. That's not true. The first quarter should be 52, Steve? Something like that, 52? They had 50 on every quarter. I bet every single one over, and like built up a bankroll from that. I'm telling you, and they were a credit shop. Somehow I got credit there, but using Frank's money, post up at a lot of those places. There was places in Australia, CanBet, and there was a couple different sports books there. That's how I built up a bankroll doing that stuff. And just like with DraftKings and FanDuel and stuff, if you have a casino host right now, a host at one of those sites, they're still offering. One of our friends just got a $25,000 bonus. He put in $25,000, he lost it. They matched the $25,000 again. This is, I'll just say, it's DraftKings. So if you have a sucker account, or not a sucker account, that's the wrong word. If you have a losing account, there's nothing wrong with emailing a DraftKings or FanDuel and saying, hey, I just lost $2,000, I just lost $5,000. What can you do for me? Is there a host here? Because I can go over to FanDuel, I can go over to MGM. Just ask. It can't hurt you asking. But that just happened with those books. So, guys, I want to bring up a couple guys to talk about their business, which I'm actually learning more about every day. The first I'm going to have is one of our sponsors on the show. We're going to come up here. Come on up, WagerWire. Come on up with us and introduce yourself to everybody and tell us how. I don't like parlays. They're really bad sucker bets, but that's what the books make their money on. 50%. Some of them are reporting more than that. So I don't look at anything parlay related. So
I do.
But no kidding. But
We're getting you into it now.
no, but now that I noticed that WagerWire had some of the stuff on their site, I actually literally text Matt and said, Matt, is this a real thing? So tell the people what you do. You can do, if you ever have a site, one of these sites, you'll see they offer buyouts. They're total sucker bets. Buyout for this or that. Yeah, I've talked too much. Sorry, guys.
No. Well, thanks for bringing me on. Yeah, Zach Doctor with WagerWire, co-founder, CEO. Yeah, so WagerWire is a secondary market for bets. So a lot of people come to us when they have a big parlay. They're one leg away from winning $1 million. Their cash out offer you're mentioning, Bill, is just trash usually, right? It's 50 cents on the dollar. Actually, one of our most popular products is just our calculator. If you want to just see what your bet is worth, compare it to the cash out. And then, we put it up on the market. Buyers come in. People here in this room might want to be buyers. You can buy that ticket. Basically, you have to beat the cash out offer. There's 1 or 2 legs left. You can hedge it out. You can guarantee yourself 10-15% usually. But we have a couple of monsters on here if you want to see a couple of our biggest ones we just got in.
Yeah. Do you have one you can show us?
All right. Well, actually, one bettor has 2 different crazy bets on our site. They're both 5-leg parlays. 3 of the legs have hit already. So they got Florida to win NCAA March Madness. They got the Thunder to win the NBA Finals. And then they got Edmonton Oilers to make it to the finals. So the first ticket will win $1 million, 7-figure payout. The last 2 legs are the Yankees to make the World Series.
To make, not to win?
To make the World Series.
That's even tough,
Still
though. But
tough, though.
It's not happening.
And then the Lions to win the Super Bowl.
That's not happening.
I don't really think the Lions are going to win it either.
I like
This guy
Minnesota in that
basically,
division. Yeah.
He bet $100 to win $1 million. Right now, our bet value calculator, given the odds, I think on the Lions are like plus 1,000. Yankees is plus 500 to make the World Series. It's worth $15,000. And so a lot of times these guys don't have the capital to hedge it. They're facing a decision where that could be life-changing money to somebody, and they don't have really any out. So what WagerWire does, we do more than just the secondary market too. We're really just trying to help you after the bet is placed, get the most value out of it. But the same guy has another one with the same 3 legs hit. This one will win $555,000, but it has the Lions still as the winner, as the Super Bowl winner. But the other leg, instead of the Yankees, it's Dodgers to win the World Series.
Now we're talking.
Yeah, John, you should buy this one. This one's worth about $11,000. As long as the Dodgers win it, you're in the money. You could sell the Lions leg before it's over.
What's the buyout offer?
Great question.
Yeah, I think the cash out, I don't know there's a cash out on the $1 million one. On the $555K, it's about $6,000, and the current value based on the odds of the 2 legs remaining would be more like $11,000.
Okay, so $6,000 the site that you're betting it on would offer.
Yeah.
At WagerWire, it's going to be up for less than 11 though.
Yeah. So like the happy medium is right. You
Not
could just,
8,500 or something.
yeah,
No?
like you could just a new bettor today. You could just place a parlay on the Dodgers and the Lions. So that's kind of the ceiling of what it could trade for, right? Because otherwise, why would you buy it from this guy? You just place a new one. But then, so in between those 2 prices of basically laying $12K would be the placing it at the Sportsbook versus the cash out price is kind of the floor you have to beat. So there's a big window, it's 40% margin in there in between basically. So WagerWire lives in that middle ground where it's a win-win on both sides. A lot of times our buyers will just buy that and hedge it out. Sometimes they'll, be willing to take some positional risk on the other side. But I think, John, you should buy that Dodgers one. That one feels right up your alley.
It is right up my alley.
Tell him, please.
The Lions, what do you guys think? I mean, yeah.
Lions, that's not happening.
That's going to be tough,
No,
right?
It's not happening.
So, because that you've already got the 3 legs in, and the 2 remaining legs got a couple months apart from each other.
Mm-hmm.
And if it pays $1 million, you could bet just 100,000 against the first.
There could be some hedging.
Right.
If you lose that, you could still bet 200,000 against the next one. You're either going to win $1 million or out 300. And if you win the first one, you carry cash for 100.
You know, Steve, I was on air doing a podcast with them and brought their thing up with John. When the podcast was over, I said, wait a minute, I'm not reading right. We're off air now. I called them. I said, listen, the math's not right here. Something's wrong. You're telling me this. I said, I could lock up like $6,000 right now by buying this. And they actually said yes. So I'm surprised they didn't have someone in there, like trying to, I mean, some of the value is sometimes people don't even know the bids, the offers they put up. I don't look at anything parlay related. This opened my eyes to that a little bit. And thanks for your question, though, Steve. Steve, by the way, Steve Diano, one of the sharpest guys in the business for years. Fats was one of the sharpest guys. He's been around every single major syndicate. I hope I'm allowed to say this. And in and out of jail. I mean, it is what it is. We're all friends. No. No, but Steve's very sharp.
Raz. I remember World Series many years.
Poker.
You want to get a Raz game going? And Steve is trying to get that Raz
And guys that
game
are trying to get Raz games going,
Got a
usually they're
question in
the
the back,
smarter
too, Bill.
ones. I seen a hand. Hi.
So, somebody bet this in their DraftKings account, right? So now they're gonna sell it there. Now DraftKings gonna go, well, we're not gonna pay this guy because he's got a place to bet.
So, we work with DraftKings. We're actually talking about that. We have an integrated white label version of this that we're pitching them to actually plug right in as a feature in their app. So, yeah, we've never had any problem with them trying to avoid something because it was traded. Like the bet stays in the seller's account, and then it doesn't actually move unless we're integrated with them. So it's really like DraftKings is kind of none the wiser for when it trades when we're not plugged in. But yeah, so we're trying to get this plugged in with them so it could be real-time settlement, instant transfer, the payout. That makes it a lot cleaner for taxes and everything else too. But we can facilitate it outside of the system as well.
Do you have a hard time dealing with these guys with their fancy college degrees that have no common sense? No, I'm not saying DraftKings. In general, all of them, though, they're marketing guys. They're guys that never gambled in their life. I said it already. If I had a sports book or if I had a casino, if I was a casino owner, I would never hire anyone who didn't know what it is to lose a paycheck. I want my employees to know what it is to gamble and what it is to feel like that, sucker or something. You have a hard time getting to them? Every casino has levels where they pay people to say no. Right, so you don't get to, let's say, I'll use here. So, Derek's so hands-on, I can't really use here. Let's use a corporation. Let's use a Caesars. So you can't get to the guy at Caesars up top because he has many levels below him. And those people, they're petrified to make any decisions that's going to cost them their jobs. They want to just steal their paycheck and go home. And they don't want to be asked any question. God, don't ask me a question today that I can get fired. Amen. No. So do you have a hard time getting to the right person at a DraftKings, FanDuel, all these big companies?
Yeah, I mean, you got to work your way up to those relationships, basically. But we've been going at it for a couple of years, and with the help of kind of folks like you and other people, we've been able to build relationships.
So
with
tell them how they can find you. You have the app, and
we have an app called WagerWire. We're in the App Store and Android and Apple, and then you can go to our website as well. Find us on Twitter. Twitter's our main social account.
And how about your actual website? Is it WagerWire?
Yeah, it's WagerWire.com.
Good.
You can find me on Twitter too, WagerWire CEO.
And you're pretty open to answering questions and stuff.
Absolutely. Most people come to us just because they want to find out, what are my options? They're not even necessarily there yet to get to the selling part, and they use the calculator, see what it's worth, and then we can just put it up and start fielding bids.
Cool.
Or maybe you want to be a buyer and just throw some low balls out there, see if someone bites.
Thanks for coming on. Appreciate it. Thanks you.
A lot. Thanks for having me.
Good deal. No, so the next guy I'm bringing up is I have some I don't work with him right now, but I have some questions for them because I've had some problems in my life, getting money to sports books and payment solutions. This is 30 years. Senny, can you come on up, Senny Toms? Edge Boost is his company. They were one of the sponsors at the World Series. Am I saying it right?
I saw them all over the World Series this year.
And VSiN, I do my VSiN show. I hear you guys on VSiN. Absolutely. So, my experience with credit cards online and with companies, first of all, they charge me fees. I hate, I ran out of money on, I don't know if you work with, do you work with BetMGM?
We do. I mean, it's
Okay.
it's
I ran out of money on
bank
BetMGM.
account
I had to
with
run down to the strip, and I went and looked at like credit card options and stuff just because I needed to bet in that minute. I knew it was going to move, and you could bet more at the counter sometimes. But this particular situation, I wanted to bet it at the app. Didn't have the money there. I looked at payment solutions, and I see they charge you like 3% or something. Now, we'll tell people what you guys do compared to what's out there now, any competition-wise.
Yeah, so I mean, first of all, I mean, thanks for having us. I mean, Bet Bash is really kind of our people. We've really kind of built this entire product from the ground up with a lot of feedback from the community. And at the end of the day, I guess I kind of like maybe just a show of hands, or how many people here have been had a bank account frozen or a transaction frozen, been kicked out of the bank?
I've been thrown out of like lose your Chase Bank, right?
Yeah,
they do so many gaming transactions. They just
Yeah, absolutely.
throw you
They
out.
hate it, right? I mean, at the end of the day, if you have any gambling transactions, you are, a second-class citizen. It's a business that they don't want. And we've heard all kinds of horror stories. And the same with PayPal accounts getting frozen. There's no one to communicate with. So we took the long, painful route. It took us about 4 years. And we've actually spun up an entire bank only for the gaming industry. So what that means is you sign up with us. You get an FDIC-insured checking account. But what's cool about this is it is 100% approval for all gambling transactions. This is can be sports betting, horse racing. You can walk into any casino.
that's so hard to believe.
Yeah.
100% approval.
100% approval, and you can do $250,000 a day in volume.
Wow.
And it's the highest debit card limit in history for any banking product. And the only thing this bank account can do, though, is gambling. So we kind of stay in our lane. We worked with a lot of the regulators to say, hey, this is all we're going to do, but we're going to do it really well. And once you have that bank account, you can keep all these transactions off of your primary checking. It's really clean. We have a lot of great kind of budgeting and responsible gambling features built into it as well. And then what we're really excited to kind of announce, and we've been getting a lot of feedback here at Bet Bash, is we've been working actually. Circa's been a phenomenal partner. They have a lot of people. Obviously, they take a lot of great action. People flying in with $200K in their backpacks, right? So we can kind of help streamline and facilitate a lot of those types of transactions. But not only is it difficult to get money in, right? But to your point, outside of banking hours, it's pretty much impossible to access any money. You can walk into any casino, you're trying to get money in on a weekend, on a Saturday morning for some action on Sunday. It's not a lot of options. So we are now the first and only bank right now in the U.S. that's been approved for real-time bank-to-bank transfers for gaming. And then coming in October as well, we've been approved for crypto to USD conversion for gaming as well. And we've basically built a compliance.
Senny,
pathway.
you're the bank, though.
We are a bank, yeah.
I got to be blunt. I just found out this today. So now you're saying crypto. Isn't the government petrified of any of these things happening? Uncle Sam, Big Brother on top of you. How did you get this? You have your ducks in a line or
It was
something.
really painful. I think I had to start dyeing my hair a little bit. But
Yeah.
I had 2 kids along the way as well, the last 4
No,
years.
I'm just being serious. I'm just like, how can you get all these things approved?
Yep.
The government
well,
is so strict now. They're
it-
trying to charge us taxes on money we don't ever win. And here you have.
It's a great question. But the real key to this is that we set this up as the first and only limited use checking account in the U.S. So at Circa, for example, you could walk up to the cage with our card, pull out $250,000 bucks. But if you went to the bar, the card is declined. So we stay in our lane. And actually, by blocking all of these transactions that are not a ID verified, KYC gaming transaction, we actually block a lot of the potential money laundering vectors, right? You can't go buy gift cards or swipe it at some shady restaurant.
Yes.
And the good news, too, is that if someone steals your card, the only place they could ever use it at is another account that is controlled by you. That has also been ID verified.
I'm looking on this thing Randy gave me. So you guys are paying people back for using the card?
We sure do. So we make money, right? So every single time that card is swiped, we generate about 1.3%. That's what pays for card rewards programs. And we actually do pass through up to 0.5% to our players.
Let me be blunt. How do you make money?
Well, on the rest of it, right? It's a volume game for us. We will have additional fees for some like the things around the crypto conversion and such. But yeah, I mean, it's really just a safe place where you can kind of sleep a little bit better. You'll never wake up with some kind of a freeze, or I mean, everyone here has gone through pain.
Good deal.
Can you deposit cash directly into you, or it has to go to your bank first and then
It has
bounce
to
it
go
over?
to your bank first. That's a great question.
John's always trying to skip things.
I'm always trying to launder, No, kidding.
Never ends. It
Siri,
never ends.
stop
It's a-
recording. Siri, stop recording. Okay.
But yeah, we are working really closely with a lot of the operators now as well, and it's whether it's online or offline. I mean, cash access is really the biggest pain point for both players, but also the operators. And then you kind of look at the land-based community where we're doing a lot actually with Circa here, Pachanga, and a number of other casinos, and it's still 80% cash, which is wild. I mean, this is like the single largest use case for cash left in the entire U.S. economy, and the main bottleneck has always been banking.
Yeah.
Plus, I saw a little advantage play too. If you sign up for it, you guys have a little wheel spin. I saw it last night at the.
I know, it's actually been
looked like it was
stopping a
pretty
lot
good.
on the 500. I don't know if it's been
All right.
rated, but
Never fear. Randy will tell you any kind of bonus so you could steal. Sonny, how can they find you?
so it's edgeboost.bet. If you do use the BetBash promo code at sign up, you do start at a higher tier as well, so that'll give you higher limits as well as higher cash back to get started. But yeah, we're here. We have a booth here. Happy to answer any more questions.
Oh,
but-
good.
And Steve has a question.
Thanks. No, we got what, Steve?
Transaction, are you working with just approved U.S. regulators, or
That is
are
correct.
you doing anything like offshore?
No. So that is a very good question. So this is for U.S. residents, for legal U.S. operators. Again, we got to stay in our lane there. Any dollar that goes, cross border, it gets quite complicated.
Well, Sonny, thanks for coming on. We appreciate it.
No, thank you so
I
much.
appreciate you telling us a
you
couple
got
things. Steve Fezzik, you sent me something. You're right. When we do get these bonuses, I learned this from you. When you do get a bonus, even the little $200 bonus or $500 bonus, and yeah, sure, yeah, sell your product and walk out. All right. So it is what it is. We're all, it is what it is. Okay, so. This guy must be, he's like a college educated, very bright guy, lives in La Jolla. He must hate me. I ask him all the critical stuff. All right. So anyway, Steve, you're right. When you get these little $200 boost or bonuses, why should we play them at something plus money that's even a future, rather than just bet 200 on the Yanks tonight, minus 200, and let me get my $100?
Because if you play it against the spread, you're gonna, let's say you have 8 bonuses, all right? You have $100, 8 bonuses. That's gonna be worth 400, because you're gonna go 4 and 4 probably, right? So you're gonna win 4. They take away your money. So you're gonna get $400. So that 800 in bonuses is worth 50 cents on the dollar. But let's assume you play some big underdogs. Let's say you play some 3-team parlays, right? You're gonna go and play 8 of them, all right? Normally, we don't like to say parlays, but now we
Sure.
do like parlays.
Yeah.
So we go 1 and 7. That's what we're supposed to do. And in fact, you could play every combination of the, if there's 3 different games, and you're going to go 1 and 7. Well, guess what? You're going to get back 600 instead of 400. So you're going to get 75 cents on the dollar versus 50 cents on the dollar. So think about this. If you get a $1,000 bonus, that's like you're going to get $750 back instead of $500. Has nothing to do with handicapping. You don't have to handicap worth a lick. So always play like a big money line. You got to take a big money line dog or play a 3-team parlay if the book allows it.
So that's good. That's good to know, though, because most people will just say, "Hey, I'm betting my $200 parlay on my $200 bonus on the Yanks tonight because they should win, and they're minus 2 to 1." So that's good to know. On to a couple other things. Question? Who else? Of course.
On the parlays, if you're using spreads on some of them to the whole point, like 3s and 7s in the NFL, you get the chance to push, so you might get more combinations come and make worth a little bit more too.
Interesting.
And one more, if you like, bet your balls off on some teaser and take -7 down, -1, you're like, please God, Denver win week 1.
Yep.
And they've got them in Survivor also. Well, it's a natural to play the Titans with a bonus, right? So you just kind of played that back on the Titans plus 275. So think about it. If your Survivor pick on Denver goes up in flames, boom, well, at least you got a little consolation with that bonus bet on the plus 270 on the dog when you're teasing them or playing Survivor.
Steve, while you're standing up, don't sit. While you're standing up, sorry, I want you to just to tell people, because I love that strategy for Survivor. Can you just tell them about the Eagles first week, what they should do? Or listen, we're all going to get in Survivor no matter what, but why should we get more entries if something happens?
Can I come up?
Yeah, come up.
Of course. Get on video. Yeah, why not?
Why? I'm all for it.
No, it's actually a very good strategy. And I tell you what, I tell Frankie, my buddy Frankie in Myrtle Beach, he's got so much gamble to him. I said, listen, this is a good strategy. You don't even know this happened. I sent him the strategy. He goes, are you out of your mind? I'm getting 10 entries no matter what. But because he's just a gambler. But go ahead, Steve, tell the story.
So it's fantastic that Circa and other shops let you enter up until Saturday for Survivor. But the games start on Thursday. So think about that. If you want to play Survivor and you want to optimize your entries, you really want to pass post the information. What happens if Philly beats Dallas? Boom. Now you're going to have like 4,000 or 5,000 people, assuming like 20-25% of the people are going to take Philly, right? And they're 1-0. You're 0-0. They're ahead of you. So you're now paying a rake. Survivor's a lot of fun. You still might want to enter, but recognize you are paying a rake, not because that Circa is charging you, but basically you're behind the 8 ball because there's a bunch of people who are already through to week 2. However, should Philly lose to Dallas, now you're going to have like 4,000 or 5,000 people all put in $1,000. It all goes into the pool. It's a fantastic overlay. So if you're trying to think like, how many entries should I have in Survivor? Should I have 3? Should I have 6? Well, if Dallas wins, you should have 10.
Right.
You know, that's going to be the best possible usage of your money because you're going to have like a 20% overlay. But if Philly wins, pump the brakes and probably go cautious.
And to be honest with you, now you would think, like, look at the Dallas line. Today, a couple 6s popped up there. So there's 6.5s. There's even 1-7. I'm looking at the live screen. There's a couple. Philadelphia doesn't have to beat Dallas. As we know last year, look what happened Cincinnati first week. I think they were a 7.5 point favorite. As we, yeah, there was by week. You know, someone the other day told me, was it by week 5, 96% was out of the pool? That's unbelievable. I don't remember that. You're welcome to stay if you want.
Plus, you can add to Fezzik's strategy too. A lot of people are going to rebuy if Philly loses as well, so that'll add.
We
to
didn't
the
want to
pool.
tell him that. No. I honestly, it is a good strategy. Like Steve says, to go to the. I just thought it was pretty good. Now, this is a shocking thing that just came out that I was reading. Do you know Nevada leads the country in unemployment? 5.5% out of work. I had no idea. I thought our economy, even though we had a slow July, our economy's booming. There's no one taking up collection buckets for these casinos. They have made 1% more year over year, gambling-wise, but they're down double-digit, 10, 11, 12, 15. You heard different things. But I didn't know that Nevada was down. We're the #1 unemployment rate in the country.
Is that because they're gambling? I mean, is that because...
According to what I'm reading here, and this is a really good site. This is casino.org. I get a lot of good stories off there. This story came from there. Good. There's some really good guys there. I just didn't know that we were that bad economy-wise. I didn't realize that. Richie left. Richie Wilk left.
He's out. We can talk about Circa now.
No. Richie's been around. I've known Richie 25 years. I wanted to know how long he was in town. I didn't know. Not that I want to talk about a bad thing, but there was a roof fire at Sahara the other day. Did you know about that?
No.
Roof fire at Sahara, evacuated most of it. It was quickly extinguished, but they evacuated a lot of the building. Now, this just happened over at the Cromwell, too. There was a fire at the Cromwell. But, of course, now they have sprinklers and stuff, so they got the people out. But it reminded me of something that probably almost everyone in this room won't know or remember about because it happened before us, but it happened in 1980. There was a big fire here at MGM Grand.
Oh, big. Yeah, I
You know
remember
about
that.
that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like my dad was there.
Was your dad actually there?
I think so.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, what was there? I seen your dad there on a video.
That was when MGM was where Bally's is, or now the Horseshoe.
Now Horseshoe.
Right.
I seen your dad on a great video there with Muhammad Ali and D. Martin on the roast.
The roast.
So so I know they used to do the roast in that
Yeah.
building. But 1980 at MGM, these things they want to sweep under the rug, don't want to talk about this stuff now. 85 people were killed inside the casino.
I didn't know that.
85 people. Like, no one even knows about that. But I just went back to that fire to see how did that possibly happen? No sprinklers in the casino except in the casino cage. That's unbelievable.
The money.
That's unbelievable.
How about
Just
the
protect the
one
money.
It's unbelievable when
There's
I
another one in 2010. I don't know if you guys remember the Monte Carlo right around
Yeah.
approximately that
Yeah.
time.
I was in town.
He said if it would have been a windy day that day, it would have been real bad. The whole strip might have lit up if that wouldn't have been a
Yeah.
many days.
This incident-
That was one I remember
Yeah.
because I was in town that day.
But since then, this incident that happened in 1980 literally led to the reformation of the whole safety code and sprinklers now everywhere. But I did not know until I seen the Sahara fire. I thought like a couple people died. 85. That was not giant news. I just thought it was, not that I like to get try to be, bring the show down. Also, Arizona. I find Arizona just amazing. Arizona, Chris, CRIS, which was offshore for years. Chris is now legal in Arizona. That's one thing, and I'm happy. I'm happy for them. I like that brand back east. It's called Prime Sportsbook. I like those guys. They've been around for a while, and I like they take on all comers. They don't throw out people. They're not like the other sports books that'll limit you. They'll learn off you and literally take your bet and move the lines. But the Arizona Department of Gaming this week has launched the first statewide public education campaign to protect consumers from illegal gambling risk from offshore sports books. I just can't believe, like, Arizona's protecting, they're going after the sports books offshore. They have a ton of their own sports books there. Right. And I read about this thing about protecting kids and listen, I'm one that tells it like it is, get myself in trouble a lot, cost myself sponsorship money. I want to tell you right now, if they didn't have to talk about the gambling with the kids and protecting people and stuff, I do it every week on all my shows. I talk about stuff like that. It just, when I read this stuff, it infuriates me though. Now you want to go after, what about looking at your own state and all the sports, and I'm not saying Chris, but they have DraftKings, FanDuel, all the big sports books are there, but yet they want to have a national campaign to go after sports books. Let me tell you guys about Randy and I. So I told you about Randy and I. We're professional bettors. I want to ask Randy. Randy, do you have anything for? This is a cold question here. Have any futures? What do you like in the NFL this year?
I haven't pulled the trigger. I'm still waiting for preseason. Of course, some of the RSWs I've looked at.
Regular season wins.
Yeah, so I've looked at some of the different divisions. I got kind of my top 4 teams in each division, and I talked to you that one about kind of like the Bears under. I haven't bet it yet, but
that's one that we bet. That's funny. I bet the Bears under. But you could wait with the Bears because in this town, everyone loves to bet the Bears. There's a Chicago team, even the Cubs, but they loved. So you can get some people come in last minute to sign up for Circa, and also do the bet on the Bears to win the Super Bowl. They always like to have a ticket to bring home. Well, you have no futures then for us right now, but you're looking at the Bears under, which I actually did get to bet the Bears under.
Kind of like the Vikings maybe to win the division.
Yes.
That might be a little contrarian.
Yes, that's not contrarian. It's actually
and Detroit in second, and then the Packers third. But see how that goes. But I got top 4 in each division there. The NFC West is kind of with the Stafford injury. Can't really, I might be contrarian against the Rams there. Some people like them. San Francisco's got a very easy schedule. I could see them bouncing back. I could see Arizona being a surprise team in that division, and then Seattle on the bottom. So
I actually went over to Westgate last week and bet Rams not to make the playoffs after the Stafford information, taking $1.70, I think, or 65.
Randy, can you acknowledge in front of all these nice people that the Broncos are going to win the Super Bowl? Can you do that? Can you do it?
That's Joe Public.
Come
not
on.
just you. People
Okay, well,
love the Broncos.
we'll just clip this up.
So
come
in that
Super Bowl
division,
time.
I do have the Broncos finishing first.
Oh, wow. Fez,
I have
anything with the
KC
Broncos?
second.
Not really.
Uh-oh, thumbs down out
Anything
there.
Broncos?
Says no.
Some of this Charger news, losing their left tackle, that's a bad loss for them. And then trying to think of the other team in the division, but I see them being in last. Yeah, the Raiders being in last there.
Fez, anything?
Got blanked
Any
on the
futures still available? Or anything that I can give to people?
Stafford under 3,600 passer.
Is that still out there?
It's hard to find.
Okay. So Stafford under.
That's a kiosk bet, right?
Yeah, what do you got?
Baker Mayfield, most passing yards in the NFL.
What are you taking there?
I took 15 to 1.
That's yeah.
Still as low as you can find better than 12 to 1 still. I would have taken as low as 10.
Great.
Anybody else with any opinions out there?
Oh, okay.
NFL, everybody will argue your opinions, but you put them
Yeah.
out there, and we'll
Yeah.
see how it comes,
I want to lastly talk about my buddy Scott here, his Proxy service. And, you know, as you don't even know, I talked about you on the show last week, and I was telling, like, that we do our show at Westgate. So we're at Westgate doing the show, and there was a Proxy service there, which they're very
yeah.
good. Yeah, they're very, but then I mentioned his Proxy service. I don't know if anyone could be as in-depth focused on not making a mistake. And I think that would be the number one thing with a Proxy service. I'd be so afraid. And I asked those people that were running the Proxy on, I'm sorry, I forget their name, husband and wife, or not husband and wife, they're just a guy and a girl that they own the service. And they were saying, I was like, all these employees you got, how do you trust them to put all these picks in every week? And they say they don't. They put all the picks in. Scott, now are you putting all the picks in? Not your wife. And it'll be fine if your wife, or I'm just asking. So you do, because I know the way you are, focused on things. And what's the name of the service again? VHP Proxy. You're outside there? Right, good. So that's just another really good Proxy service. I also want to mention someone I've been around for 30 years here, heritagesports.eu. They've been around for years, and they reduced juiced and 100% bonus right now. Guys, I really appreciate, guys and ladies, a lot of females here.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah, there's a lot
I
of
was going
females
to say,
here.
have you noticed more and more ladies in
Yeah.
the sports book, at the window, at the counters, three or four here in the room?
And to be real blunt,
It's great.
You want to start with this stuff. This is why he wears these shirts. Look,
This
look,
guy.
look, I mean,
This guy. It's a large
you
crack.
got-
It's a large. What do you want?
It is
Look.
what it is. It's okay. It's okay.
Damn,
But anyway, we
Scott.
really appreciate all you coming out. Lots of females in the audience today. Guys, there's a lot of different things to do at Bet Bash. We really appreciate your time and your effort coming out here and staying out here with us today. It means a lot to me. Thank you very much.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you for coming.